Hi, welcome to Quinn's RC once again. This is actually a second take. I tried the first one and my phone rang. So now I know when I try this to turn off the ringer on my phone. What I'm doing today is I'm just opening up this Diff. I've been running a couple times and I'm hoping to get more involved. My Limitless at a local track. It's a very twisty turny track with like one straightaway on the backside. I took the spool, the center spool, out of the Limitless and installed an infraction center diff. I'm going to take it apart now. I got a little bit heavier diff oil. This comes all put together with 100K in it. I'm going to put 200K in the center and then 100K in the front and rear just to see how that handles. Now there's all sorts of advice out there when you're doing this kind of racing. Some people are basically saying to lock your diffs and get a fancier spool so that you can run these massive pinions. Now you can see that the spur on this center diff has a way higher tooth count than the spool did, so it's really reducing the top end on the Limitless. But I'm not doing speed runs, so it kind of makes sense to me that you would want things to be torquey so you can get going quickly out of corners, and really that's where the races will be won rather than in the back stretch. So I'm trying this out. I could be full of doo-doo. That's not too bad. Not great either. I'll try to bring that in closer. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take this apart and get it all cleaned up. And while I'm at it, I have this, which is the metal diff case. So I'm going to replace the composite with a metal diff case and get this cleaned up while I'm at it. The way I like to do it is I have a pill bottle full of denatured alcohol, and this has been used quite a few times already. The dirt just accumulates at the bottom here. I just throw everything in there, give it a shake, let it sit for a while, and everything comes out nice and clean. So I'm not going to bore you with me taking it apart and getting everything into the cleaning solution. I'll start again when I have it cleaned out and putting it back together. Well, I changed my mind. I'm back at it, and I took out the gears, and there's really not much in there. There's a little bit kind of stuck on the gears, but that's really, I think, an underfilled diff. So we'll get it filled up better with some thicker grease and see if that helps us get around the corners. Okay, I've got all the little bits soaking in my denatured alcohol. I learned two things. One of them I was sort of surprised. There's a little grub screw that goes in the case here, and I'm wondering if you can like bleed diffs. This is the first Arma diff I've ever had apart, so that's something I have to go learn, which is what I've been doing a lot of, getting started in this hobby. Everything looks okay. I've only had this running one day for one track day, so I didn't expect anything to be ground up. The other thing I learned is that the standard metal diff case isn't for the center. It doesn't even look close to the same configuration. So when I take the front and rear out, I'll see if it excuse me, if it matches there, and then maybe use it there. So next thing I'll do is refill the diff with my 200K. Okay, I did a little Googling. I looked on the Arma forum, and what it said there was that the little grub screw and hole was originally meant to get the pin out that holds the sun gear in place, because on earlier buggies that pin was so long that you had to have a place to shove it before you could get it out from in there. Now obviously looking at this you can see that it's not the case anymore. And so I think probably people have innovated, and this is kind of cool. I'm going to do it here. I'm just going to grab this sun gear, pop it in. This is what people are doing is, and I had to go get my eyeglasses screwdriver. People are doing is they're using it to get under the sun gear, because sometimes they're pretty tight and you can get it under, rotate it and lift it out, and voila, out it comes. And there's diff fluid in there. Sometimes they can kind of stick, and sometimes if it's been run for a long time, some sort of reaction happens where they fuse. I've had that happen in other diffs. So that's an interesting discovery. Also, I might leave that grub screw out, and when I fill the diffs, let the diff fluid come out of that hole as I tighten down the screws, and that might be another use as a bleeder. So I'm going to try that. We'll see how it goes. This is fun. Okay, I've got everything out of their denatured alcohol bath and scrubbed off with the toothbrush. Seems kind of silly scrubbing off the same stuff that you're gonna put on them, but it's nice to have everything clean. This is the first Arma diff I've taken apart. I'm sort of surprised that there's no gasket in these. I don't know if I'm missing it or if they're just not made with gaskets. The diffs I had in my low C buggy have gaskets, as do the diffs in my ancient Emax. Anyways, now it's on to rebuilding. Now if you don't have some of these tiny little hemostats and you hate putting the little pins for the sun gears back in the diff cup, you should get some. They're curved, which helps with the angle. They're really easy to use. You just have to line up, find the hole, which is the hard part. And it's that easy. Done. Arg. I put the wrong shim on here. It doesn't matter how... Wait, I didn't put a shim on there. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I always seem to manage to mess things up. Oh, I did put a shim. Haha, it is the wrong one. Doesn't matter how organized I am, I will put the wrong thing in the wrong place at the wrong time. There we go. This is the one. Oh well. And now I put the little, I don't even know what you call them, the little blocks that hold the spider gears in place. I got those turned around. It's the flat side goes in, and this stuff is gooey. Like I said in my introductory email, watch me screw up. There we go. That's the way it goes. Okay, so everything is back together, more or less. I think I've got enough fluid in there. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see, here I'll try to get some more light on it. I don't know if you can see the fluid itself with the GoPro. I'm finding the GoPro doesn't like close-ups very much. But I'm just going to let this sit here and let the bubbles come out just like you would with a shock. I'll leave that for a while, a few hours at least probably. Okay, I learned something again. I tried to put a screw through the back of here and discovered that there is a gasket. I thought there wasn't. There is. So now I put some green slime along that gasket. I have the pin in here for the sun gear, and I think there should be some diff fluid under there, so I just put a dollop right on top there. And I'm going to stick that sun gear on. Like that. Like I said earlier, I thought somebody had a cool idea of removing that little grub screw and have it act as a bleeder so it's not too... that fluid isn't actually under pressure, because I don't think that's what it's meant to do. So I had this in while it was sitting, letting the bubbles air out, or not air out I guess, but rise out. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to start tightening these down. There's a little bit coming out. Probably not a big deal. Stick this back in. Yeah, doesn't feel right. Dang it. Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe I'll back these off a little bit. I took it apart. It just wasn't feeling right. I tell you, if you go back and watch my intro video, I'm like, you're gonna be watching me screw up. So you see how the top of these little, I don't even know what you call these, these little pieces that slide into the cup are rounded on one end? Yeah, I had the rounded end up. The rounded end is supposed to go down. Awesome. Let's put it back together. Sheesh. Okay, it's all back together. That feels much better now. Just have 2 more to go, the front and the rear, and then the diffs will be ready for next race day. Thanks for joining me on this video. It's been fun. Until next time, see you later.